The cameras had stopped rolling hours ago, yet Heughan and Caitríona Balfe still stood in the same spot, side by side, smiling at something only they seemed to understand. The crew had begun packing up, the lights dimmed, and the hum of the set faded into quiet. But the connection between them remained, unspoken and unbreakable. For nearly a decade, they had lived other people's lives together, Jamie and Claire Fraser, bound by passion, loyalty, and the relentless pull of fate. But somewhere between action and cut, between the fantasy and the quiet moments off camera, a different bond began to form. One that wasn't written in the script. "People always ask if it's real," Sam once said in an interview, smiling knowingly. "The truth is, it's more complicated than that." From their very first audition, something clicked. Caitríona had walked into the room, and Sam later recalled thinking, "That's her. That's Claire." Their chemistry was instant, effortless. "We didn't need to build it," Caitríona once admitted. "It was just there." The producers saw it immediately, this rare, electric connection that made their scenes come alive. But no one could have predicted how that connection would grow over the years. Through storms, sleepless nights, and thousands of takes in the Scottish rain, they learned to depend on each other completely. "There's a kind of trust you can't fake," Sam explained. "We've been each other's support system since the beginning." On set, they were inseparable. Between scenes, they shared tea, jokes, and quiet moments of comfort when the story became too heavy. During the most emotional scenes, when Jamie was tortured, or when Claire said goodbye, there was always something raw in their eyes, something that went beyond acting. Even the crew whispered about it. "You can't direct that. You either have it, or you don't." Still, both Sam and Caitríona have always been careful to protect what they share. "We have our boundaries," Caitríona said once, "but we also have this unspoken understanding. We've built something that's ours, something that doesn't belong to the spotlight." Over the years, fans around the world have tried to define their relationship: love, friendship, fate, or something in between. Every photo, every interview, every laugh between them was dissected and replayed, frame by frame. Some swore they saw the truth in the way Sam looked at her. Others insisted it was just the brilliance of two great actors. But to those who worked closest with them, the answer was simpler: they genuinely care. "There's this moment that never left my mind," one director once shared. It was during a night shoot. Caitríona was shivering between takes, and Sam just quietly walked over, wrapped his coat around her, and didn't say a word. He just stayed there, holding her shoulders until it was time to roll again. That's not acting, that's instinct. In interviews, they've both downplayed the speculation, but neither has denied the depth of their bond. "We've been through everything together," Sam said. "We've laughed, we've cried, we've fought, we've celebrated. She's one of the most important people in my life." Caitríona has echoed that sentiment many times. "Sam's my best friend," she told a journalist. "We trust each other completely. When you spend that much time together, you either drive each other crazy or you become family. We chose family." Their friendship has weathered rumors, career changes, and the constant scrutiny of fame. When Caitríona got married, fans wondered if their dynamic would change, but instead, it only deepened. "She deserves happiness," Sam said when asked about it, "and I'll always be cheering for her." Even as the Outlander years stretched on, their connection never faded. Between filming seasons, they still found time to meet up, sharing dinners, messages, and small check-ins that reminded them where it all began. For them, it wasn't just about Outlander anymore, it was about everything that came after. Perhaps the most telling moment came during one interview at the end of season 7. When asked how he would describe his bond with Caitríona in one word, Sam paused for a long time. Finally, he said quietly, "Unbreakable." Caitríona, sitting beside him, smiled with tears in her eyes. "I'd say the same," she whispered. That single exchange went viral among fans, not because it was romantic, but because it was real. It captured something words could never quite define. The kind of love that doesn't need labels, that survives years of fame, distance, and time. As the lights of the set flickered off for another night, Sam and Caitríona walked away together, laughing softly. The world would keep guessing, but they didn't need to explain anything. Because sometimes, the most powerful kind of love isn't shouted from the rooftops. It's carried quietly between two people who already know what it means. And theirs, after all these years, remains truly unbreakable. When the final season of Outlander wrapped filming, something changed in the air. The set that had once been filled with laughter, rain, and the quiet rhythm of shared work now felt heavier. It wasn't just the end of a television show. It was the closing of a chapter that had defined nearly a decade of Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe's lives. As the crew packed up props and costumes, Caitríona stood by the old Fraser cabin, running her hand across the wooden door one last time. Sam approached, his boots crunching against the gravel. For a long moment, neither spoke. They just stood there, watching the Highland mist roll over the hills. "This feels strange," Caitríona whispered. Sam nodded. "It feels like saying goodbye to a version of ourselves." Over the years, they had said countless goodbyes as Jamie and Claire, but this one was real. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't filmed. It was personal. In the days that followed, fans flooded social media with tributes, videos, and messages of love. Clips of Jamie and Claire's most iconic moments were played side by side with interviews of Sam and Caitríona laughing together. "They were the heart of Outlander," one fan wrote. "Their love, whatever kind it is, made us believe in something timeless." Behind the scenes, the two actors quietly processed what the end meant for them. Sam later admitted in an interview, "I thought I'd be ready for it. But when the cameras stopped, it hit me harder than I expected. For 8 years, Caitríona and I built something together, something sacred." He paused before adding, "It's rare to find someone you trust so completely in this industry. She's that person for me." Caitríona, in her own interview, echoed his words. "He's been my partner in every sense of the word, professionally, emotionally, creatively. We've leaned on each other through everything. That doesn't just disappear when the show ends." Still, the final wrap day brought tears. The cast gathered for a small celebration in the Scottish countryside, surrounded by the rolling green hills that had become their second home. Sam and Caitríona gave their final speeches, each struggling to keep their voices steady. "When I first met Caitríona," Sam said, raising his glass, "I didn't know we'd be standing here 8 years later. She's been my anchor through every storm. We've shared laughter, pain, and more memories than I can count. And whatever comes next, this bond doesn't end here." Caitríona smiled through tears. "You've been my brother, my partner, my best friend, and my favorite pain in the ass," she joked softly, earning laughter from the crowd. Then, more seriously, she added, "Thank you for being my Jamie, and for being Sam. The real you, that's who I'll miss the most." The room erupted in applause, but for a few seconds, it was just the two of them, eyes locked, sharing an understanding that didn't need words. After the show ended, they went their separate ways professionally, new projects, new adventures, but they never drifted apart. Sam attended Caitríona's film premieres, and she supported his whiskey launches and charity events. Whenever one spoke about the other, there was always warmth, always respect. During one panel interview months later, a reporter asked Sam if he missed working with her. He smiled. "Every day," he said. "We may not be on the same set anymore, but she's always there in some way. I hear her voice whenever I read a script that needs truth. She taught me that." Caitríona shared a similar sentiment when asked what Outlander had given her. "It gave me him," she said simply. "And that's something I'll carry for life." Fans around the world melted. The internet lit up with posts celebrating their bond. Some called it friendship, others called it love, but everyone agreed on one thing: it was real. In a rare joint interview, Sam summed it up perfectly. "Love doesn't always look like what people expect. Sometimes it's not romantic, it's something deeper. Caitríona and I have built something that time, distance, or fame can't touch. That's what Unbreakable means to me." She looked at him then, her expression soft. "You always say things better than I do," she teased. He laughed. "Only because you let me." Their laughter filled the room, the same way it had on countless nights during filming. It was effortless, familiar, eternal. As the years passed, their connection remained a quiet constant. They didn't need to post about it or explain it. Whenever they reunited, whether at award shows or private dinners, it was as if no time had passed at all. Perhaps that's the truest kind of love, the one that doesn't demand to be seen, but is always felt. And so, even as Outlander became part of history, one truth continued to echo far beyond the show. Sam Heughan and Caitríona Balfe's story didn't end when the cameras stopped. It simply transformed into something rarer, purer, and utterly unbreakable.